It was an ordinary afternoon in the city, the kind where the streets hum with the casual rhythm of daily life. People rushed by with earbuds in, coffee in hand, minds racing with to-do lists. Amidst the bustle, a young woman named Lila walked toward the subway station, her eyes scanning the sidewalk, her thoughts somewhere between her next meeting and what to cook for dinner. Nothing about that day felt particularly extraordinary, until she noticed something small roll toward her feet. It was a tiny plush giraffe. The kind toddlers often clutch in their tiny hands for comfort. She looked up and spotted a man a few feet ahead struggling with a stroller. The child inside whimpered and reached toward the ground, clearly upset about the missing toy. Lila didn't hesitate. She picked up the giraffe, quickened her pace, and gently tapped the man on the shoulder. "Excuse me, I think this belongs to your little one," she said with a smile. The man looked surprised, then grateful. "Oh wow, thank you." She would have cried the entire way home without it. He laughed, clearly relieved. "No problem at all. I'm glad I noticed," Lila replied, waving off his thanks and continuing on her way. It was a small gesture. One she didn't give much thought to. Just a fleeting interaction between strangers. But for Daniel Marks, the man behind the stroller, it was something more. He had just left a long meeting at his company's downtown office. His nanny had canceled last minute, and he had to juggle fatherhood and boardroom responsibilities all day. Frazzled, late, and exhausted, he hadn't noticed his daughter's toy drop, and that tiny moment of kindness from Lila brightened his chaotic afternoon. A week later, Lila sat in the waiting room of a sleek office building, nervously rehearsing her pitch. She had applied for a marketing manager position at a rising tech firm, and after 2 intense rounds of interviews, she had been invited for a final meeting with the company's founder. When the door opened and Daniel walked in, both of their faces registered a flicker of recognition. "You," he said, smiling. "You're the one who returned my daughter's giraffe." Lila laughed in surprise. "That was you. Small world." Daniel nodded, genuinely pleased. "You didn't know who I was, and still took the time to help. That says a lot." The rest of the interview felt less like a formal assessment and more like a conversation between old friends. They talked about values, leadership, and what it means to care about people beyond the job description. By the end of it, Daniel didn't need any further convincing. Lila got the job, but more than that, she gained the respect of someone who valued kindness as much as competence. Over the next year, Lila would rise quickly through the company. Her creativity and dedication helped launch campaigns that brought in record-breaking engagement. Her leadership turned her team into a tight-knit, innovative unit. But it was her human touch, her empathy, her attentiveness, that truly set her apart. And it all started with a moment she didn't even think twice about. That story, of a woman who picked up a toy without knowing the future it would lead her to, became one Daniel often shared in company town halls. Not just as a charming anecdote, but as a reminder that character often reveals itself in the smallest acts. That success isn't just about strategy or skill, it's about kindness, presence, and doing the right thing even when no one's watching. Lila's journey is proof that the world is always watching in its own way. That one small act of kindness can echo through your life in ways you never expect. We often hear that success comes from networking, degrees, or working overtime. But sometimes, it comes from simply noticing what others overlook and choosing to care.